So the next thing was I got a homeowner's grant because I live in New York City. So it was like a first-time homeowner's grant. Wells Fargo was giving away $30,000 for your down payment or something like that because I live in New York City and it's very expensive if you haven't heard. And I was just like, I cannot afford to buy in New York City. And somebody from the RIA did encourage me, like they told me about the grant and they said, oh, it could be for down payment assistance and all of this. And so I went to Jacob Javits Center and stood in line and I got approved for the grant. And right then they tell you what you're approved for. They basically do a quick like pre-approval. And it was like $250,000. And I'm like, what can I buy for $250,000 in New York? And I'm thinking, okay, well, I guess I have to do a condo or a co-op. Well, I didn't want co-op. I wanted condo because it's a separate tax lot. I wanted all of that. Because I was thinking about refinance later, I was already thinking in my head about the investment opportunity of it. So like, okay, I can do a condo. Maybe I'll get a multi-bedroom so I can at least rent out the other bedroom. I always wanted a multifamily, but I knew I couldn't afford a multifamily with $250,000, and I didn't have the money, to get a multifamily. So I ended up going through that. Long story short, I ended up losing the grant because there is a time commitment. I was in contract for 2 different condos that ended up falling out of contract. So basically, because the last one fell out of contract, I ran out of time on the grant. There were some other things, like I was getting to closing and then they told me the grant, because it's attributed like as a loan at the very beginning, and 20% of the grant is forgiven every year for the 5 years because they want you to stay in the property for 5 years. So that means I had to come to the closing table with an extra like $14,000, and I'm like, what am I getting the grant for? I don't have $14,000. What do you guys want from me? This doesn't make no sense. So I lost the grant. The good thing about that is that in my time before the Detroit scenario, I was trying to be a wholesaler. That was also a huge fail. I won't go into all of that. I never wholesaled anything, but we got close, no cigar. But through that process, I learned